All right, welcome to another episode of Between the Coast. I'm your host, Fernando, with our stars Cassius and Jared. Today we will be discussing the NBA Finals, followed by an NBA news. Shout out to the Knicks, first championship in 53 years. Cassius, I'm gonna pass the mic to you. I'm super proud. I'm super happy.
Let the man live.
Yeah, it's I, I'm I think what makes me happy is obviously them winning, but just the way that they did it. It was Jalen Brunson taking $100 million pay cut to make sure he got the right people around him. They trusted him, they believed in him, the whole city did. They let him play to his best abilities. The team really stepped up. I mean, OG in game four. Um, Cat, he played great, here and there every game. I'm just proud. Like, I'm proud to be a Knicks fan. Like, I remember Jared clowning me being a Knicks fan in college when they were absolute garbage. But I still played as the Knicks. We would play with our teams. I still play with the Knicks. So, no, I'm just happy all around. But I would love to hear your guys' takes about game 4 and 5, and we'll branch out from there.
I mean, honestly, you could just put 4 and 5 into a basket. Um, there's not much to say other than congratulations to the Knicks, congratulations to the new King of New York, Jalen Brunson, the I think only second rounder picked in the NBA draft to win a Finals MVP. The last one was Joker. But he came out, dude, 45 points. Like, that's what we said. He's a closer. Like, that's what you do is you close. And no one, like, that play of him even bumping Wimby twice, saying, like, please try to block me, and then still driving into the hole and getting that layup, like, it kind of solidified this whole series. OG, wow. Like, the most unspoken man, like, literally sounds like an old man talking. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the video. He couldn't turn off the Instagram live. He was literally saying, how do I turn this off? How do I turn this off? Like, was just recording the whole time. But they really showed out. I mean, a lot of the doubts, like, against this team, like, it really proven. I mean, even to your point, Nando, like, Brunson, I think, showed what the future of the NBA should look like. You should take that pay cut to bring in not only the players that best fit you, but to bring in the people that work with you. Like, they brought in two of his former college teammates that won a college championship together. And there were doubts about that. Josh Hart and how reliable he could be in his position and his offensive game and how much it stands. Of course, the McCall Bridges, all the draft picks they gave up for that guy. And then, of course, Cat. Like, they traded for you, and finally we saw the Cat play offensively and defensively that we've never seen before. But yeah, that team was made to battle through this entire series and through this entire postseason. They were the best team on the court every time they played. And yeah, I mean, Spurs, inexperience all the way across board. Jared called it in 5, and he called the inexperience, and it finally caught up to him. I mean, for them to lead double digits in 5 straight games, all 5 games this series, and then to lose in 4 of those is diabolical. So good on the Knicks, though. They never gave up. They literally said, I don't care, we're winning this. And they kept battling for it no matter what. So
Yeah. I, where do I even start? Like, game 4, that was criminal. That was criminal. Like, Wimby saying I'm in your head did not age well. I mean, they was up 29, bro. 29. And they folded. You didn't even talk about Fox. I was waiting on that this whole time. That was the last piece I was waiting on.
I don't honestly. He's gonna get traded.
He has to.
The
He
report
has
just
to.
came out. Dylan Harper's not happy with his minutes and how he was utilized, and I wouldn't be too, because my game plan should have been throwing Harper into the starting lineup, and I would throw Fox as your second team. But yeah, I mean, Fox was a disappointment as not only as a leader for that team, but just a veteran. Like he had moments where you shouldn't be making those mistakes as the leader of that team.
Right, right. I mean, and we gave him credit when he sank him in game 3. We got to criticize him in game 4. Like, you got to dribble out the clock. You got to. He went for that layup, got blocked by OG. Dribble out the clock, go to the line. They're free throws. Get the free throws.
And Mitch isn't, subsequent in this either. Like, Mitch has also his own issues. Again, another coach not utilizing their times.
Let me tell you something.
You have that time on the clock. I know it's Kenny Atkinson. But at the end of the day, like, yes, this is your first real season. I would say it's your second season. But dude,
if this was his third season, all of those games are fireable offenses. They're fireable offenses now. Like, there's no way. No, they are. They are. From game 1, you didn't call. He left how many timeouts in his back pocket going on his way to Cancun?
2 under 2 minutes.
Exactly.
In 2 straight games.
Like, my guy doesn't know how to call a timeout. He could have called the timeout when Wemby was bringing the ball up the floor and threw it off of Castle's back. And you also didn't talk about Castle. I was shocked about that because Castle was non-existent, might I add.
In game 5, yeah.
In game 5. One field goal.
Yeah, especially after that big game in game 4. I was surprised to see him kind of honestly fall away. I think he started 0 for 6. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it just showed their inexperience. The Spurs are going to be more motivated from this than ever before.
Oh, honestly, that was their best chance. I told y'all in the chat, I'm telling y'all here, that was their best chance. They backdoored their way into the finals. They beat OKC. That was their championship, which they earned that. I'm not going to lie. But you're not going to run into a Denver team that has injuries. You're not going to run into an OKC team that has injuries. You're not going to run into a Lakers team that has injuries. You're not going to run into a Timberwolves team that has injuries. You're not going to run into those teams aren't going to all be injured.
I'll address this.
You can address it, but it's a stimulus package, whether you like it or not. Like, if all those teams are hurt, you backdoored your way in.
You can't blame injury for all those teams. Like the Thunder,
the Spurs next season.
Yes, they had injury in that series.
Do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
They're going to be back. We already know they're going to be back. Whether they decide to move for someone that is on the market or they decide to run it back. Thunder are not going anywhere.
That's not the point, though. That's not the point.
Denver,
the point is
Denver. Like I said, I don't think Denver is going to be the same team, and I don't think injury hurt them that much this year, other than Aaron Gordon. Joker was only out for 17 games.
They're gonna make the playoffs, but like I don't see why not, but I just think that there's going to be teams like they won the battle of attrition. That may not be on their side next year. Just like Denver and all these other teams may not be as injured. And I don't think it's wrong for me to be like, they may not get back there within the next 4 years because the West is stacked and it gets better each year.
Dude. I think you can't say that with the amount of young talent on that team, and that you have Harper, who's not going to be coming off the bench. He's going to be utilized. He's playing already like a vet. His inside game as well as his defense is already 2-3 years beyond. Castle knows what he needs to work on. His defense is honestly like top tier defense for a point guard at his position. He just needs to work on his jump shot. He's like D Rose, honestly. Like he tries to only bang inside and go for defense, but all he needs to do is work on his jump shot. And Wemby is going to work even harder this summer to get past that limit. And at the
Wemby's going to work on what? Sticking his 7'5" ass in the paint? Because there's no reason you're 7'5" shooting all those threes.
I agree.
And honestly,
he's going to start taking more threes. He's going to be working on that too. He's going to be working on his post game.
He's proving my point. He's proving my point. You're not Steph Curry. You're 7'5". I guarantee you this. Whether you play the Knicks again or you're playing Joe Mazzulla with a healthy Jason Tatum, they're not even beating the fucking Celtics.
Let me
the
ask
way
you,
that
who do you
goes down.
who yeah,
I'm not gonna guess. Who are they? Just
Well,
say it. Say it out loud so we can discuss
Spurs,
it.
Thunder, Celtics, and then the Knicks. Everyone sees it. It's writing on the wall, dude. It's
You're talking about
writing
writing on the wall. Oh, Cass, no, hold on, Fernando. Don't do that writing on the wall.
but you're
BS,
also,
because
but you're
they
blaming.
were
Dude,
also
all you've been blaming is injury, and the Denver Nuggets.
injury
really didn't deal with
matters.
injury,
What are you
dude.
talking about? The
I didn't say
freaking
that.
Lions
I
would have
didn't
won
say
the
that.
Super Bowl
I
if
didn't
they
say
weren't
that.
injured
Oh
at
my,
one
okay.
point.
So now
What are you
injuries are part of
talking
sports,
about?
dude. It happens.
That's
every
not
game.
the point,
It's part
bro.
of
It's
sports.
either you, bro. That's not. That's that. It's obviously part of sports. But what I'm saying is, if that's the case, then you're saying they might as well just not play the regular season. They're gonna end up in the finals. My point is, they won the battle of attrition, and all these teams that were injured are not going to be. They may not be injured next year.
You're saying Denver dealt with injury that much. They didn't deal with that much injury. There was 2 players that were hurt
Aaron
this season,
Gordon and
Aaron
Joker.
Gordon, honestly, with the way he played, wasn't even a factor this entire season. Second of all, Jamal
Joker-
Murray also was not a great factor for that team. He did not feel comfortable this entire season with his offensive game. That's why they're hurting. They need more bench and depth. Also, a reason that the Spurs lost. They don't have the depth.
They didn't drop in the standings when Joker got hurt. They didn't drop in the standings. He was just as efficient when he came back. It doesn't matter.
He
had
was
their
back for the end of the season though, leading into the playoffs. So he wasn't gone for that long, and he played every game in the playoffs. He was actually on a run, if you don't remember, for the last 20 games of the season, which is why he was
his efficiency
in the MVP
was
race.
still down when he came back. So,
but that's not. I don't think that's on him. I think that's because of the way. The issue is that the Thunder and Spurs are so far ahead from the talent level and what they can do, especially contractually, because the Spurs are so young, the Thunder are so young with their team, with who's on that team. Versus, I'm a Lakers fan. That team is so far behind right now because we don't know what contractually we can do because Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves are holding that team contracts hostage. Same with the Timberwolves. We know the Timberwolves don't have it because why? Rudy Gobert is holding that team contractually hostage. They need to bring in, honestly, Giannis to the Timberwolves, and then I'd be like, yes, the Wolves are right there. Yes, Ant dealt with injury. I will 100% agree with you. That hurt them big. But I don't think they would have made it past the Spurs anyway. Because we saw Randall fold. So I'm telling you, I agree with you, but the Thunder and the Spurs are the only 2 teams as of right now I see as like the 2 teams in the Western Conference Finals based off of what we've seen so far and what we're going into with next year. Of course, I know we got the NBA draft, we got the rest of the free agency. All that's going to change our opinions and thoughts. But again, I agree, but I think the Knicks also showed that building the team around your star player the right way, your star player taking
Jared, I will agree with you. I think the
the
Spurs
and having
are gonna
the depth,
have
because what did they
some sort of a
lack
slump
last
next
year?
year.
And why they
Like
got
teams
blown
will,
out by the Pacers?
they'll be able to
Depth.
play with them more next year.
Those are what I'm saying. It's not just the injury. I think it's the factor that the Spurs didn't have enough in the play. Yes, they're young. They were able to go for so long, but they kept going to the same 6 players.
blown out by the Pacers when it went to Game 7 is fucking crazy. I'm just gonna say that,
and it might be 2030.
Right.
I'll say 2029.
How many championships are they going to win before we get to 2030? Call it right now, since you that confident.
What are you reading?
They got 3 years. They got 3 years. So they walking away with one.
I'm going to say they win one before 2030.
I agree with you, Jared, that they're not going to just go to the championship every single year.
I say it's within the next 2 years.
Okay, I could agree with that, but
I can side more with the 2020. I agree with Nando.
Yeah.
You don't kick ass every game and lose every fucking game, and then you think you just gonna magically reappear into the champion.
I think they'll be in the Western Conference Finals almost every year.
But you're also estimating that nobody outside of the Thunder are even going to be good enough to beat them. The war of attrition matters. Like, these other teams being injured and messing up their flows and their rhythms matter. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Here's the issue is I look at every single team structurally.
So, Cassius, do you think the Spurs have enough?
There's only 2 teams that rosters in the West are built to a T of what is going to make them last over a full season from a talent level standpoint and when they get into the trenches. We literally saw that this postseason. The Timberwolves don't have enough. The Nuggets don't have enough anymore. Like, we'll see it after this. Hopefully that's what
But
these
I'm
teams
talking
can.
about over like the next 3 years.
We watched
Do you think
Luka
they have enough
Doncic carry a group of
depth?
Okay,
who else was on that freaking team when he was in the Mavs?
How many different players won these series for the Knicks? OG had a moment.
And that's not what I said. You're going back
saying.
to the team that won. That's not what I said, bro. You know that's not
what we're
I
talking
said.
about. We're talking about how you get to a championship, how you. I said that they didn't have enough depth. They have enough depth that they've played with only 6 players, pretty much the entire series. That's depth. For one, going back to this one portion, the reason I think that they're going to do it, think of the Celtics. The Celtics are the perfect example of the Jaylen Brown, the Jason Tatum Celtics. How many times have they made these conference finals? How many times have they made it to the NBA finals? And they lost, and they learned from that. That's what I'm saying the Spurs are kind of the West version of right now, because Wemby is only in his 3rd season, going into his 4th. Castle is only in his 2nd season. Harper is in his 1st season. Like, they have the talent. Now they just need to build around those 3 guys.
You talking about the Celtics team that was the number 1 seed and they still lost to the 8th-seeded Heat? You talking about that team? So it goes back to my point that the Spurs aren't going back next year. They're not. No, I'm talking about how you just used the Celtics as an example of going to the final.
Though. They won a championship.
You refuse to listen. Open your ears. Nando's laughing because you're not listening.
I'm just saying that your point is invalid because they won a championship.
It's not. That's not invalid. My point. My point is, you said the Celtics went to the championship, they lost, and then they eventually won a championship. It wasn't the next year. That's the point.
Okay, but they still won. Did I say they're officially winning it next year? I said that they're going to win within the next.
He's saying 2030.
That's the next 4 years.
Matter.
That would be within the time frame.
But
You're
also,
jumping
just because
over
a team
I'm
is
not
doing
jumping
it the
over.
year
First off, I said
before
within the
doesn't
next
mean that
3
they're
years
automatically
because you
going
only
to
have
go
27,
the next
28,
year.
29.
And the
That's what I said.
Celtics
You
were a
said
great
maybe
point
27.
this year. Also, the Thunder. We all kind of assumed that the Thunder would make it to the finals.
You're getting too heated for no reason. And
I'm getting because you're not listening, bro. You're not listening.
I compare it to the Celtics. The Celtics still won a championship.
My point is they didn't go right back.
Which no one knows. I said that the Spurs will at least make to the Western Conference Finals, which is what the Thunder did this year after winning a chip. And guess what? The Celtics did after they made to the finals. They still made to the Eastern Conference Finals after. Did not
only
say that
to
they're
lose
automatically
to
to
the
the
Miami
finals.
Heat, the 8th-seeded Miami Heat, who were in the playoff game. Might I add?
That's great, but at the end of the day, they still ended up winning a championship. And all I'm saying is, did I say the Spurs are getting back to the finals automatically? I said they're at least making to the Western Conference Finals.
Who's your early finals prediction? What'd you say? Tell the world what you said yesterday. Who's your early finals prediction?
Yeah,
for next year.
As of right now, before we see everything that's happened, I'm going to have a different opinion.
Let me ask you guys this.
It's literally the day after the finals. What are you talking about? There is going to be a fucking draft and a goddamn free agency.
Who's getting?
The Spurs are the favorites for next season. Like, I'm just playing off of what everyone saw. There's a new generational talent.
Who was the favorite to win it this year? Who was the favorite? Wasn't it OKC? And what happened? They didn't win it. That's the point, bro.
Okay, but that's too early. We're taking too early predictions.
I will say OKC and I will say OKC. I'm going to say the Celtics.
Okay.
I am going to put the Knicks back in there. And I'm only doing that because I don't think the Pistons are going to make a move that they need to this offseason. And out of respect, I will still say the Spurs. Because I wasn't the one putting my foot up my ass saying that they're going to go back and be in the championship game. I still think OKC comes out the West next year.
That's the early prediction. I mean, how could you not say it after seeing that team?
Okay. They're still young, bro.
I mean,
They're still young.
exactly. They're so young and they made it this far. That's my whole point.
You're
Here.
ahead of
Young teams
schedule.
do it.
You're ahead of schedule.
Exactly. So you have that
Young
time
teams
to learn.
do it.
It's the Thunder and the Spurs, unless I think the Timberwolves need to trade for Giannis. I think that's the person you team up with. Like, if you're looking to make it, I think if that's the case, I would make it Spurs Wolves. But yeah, it's as of right now, it's Thunder Spurs, and then out of the East, I also think it's Celtics. The East is weird. The East is very weird. I want to say the Pistons. That's actually my go-to. I think you guys will figure something out. I think you guys will sign someone. I just don't know who it'll be. Is my opinion.
You also gotta. The Cavs aren't doing anything. If there's a sleeper team in the East, it's going to be the Pacers because Halliburton will be back.
That's kind of where I was leaning. The Pacers kind of scare me a little because they really haven't lost too much of that depth, and they're going to be pretty much the same team with, just to your point, not having to deal with injury in that regard because Halliburton was out the entire season, still suffering from that finals injury. So
yeah. So, but. And they got Sabonis now. They don't have Turner, but they still got Sabonis. So
Turner was god awful for the Bucks.
Yeah, he should have stayed where he was at.
But yeah, I think at the end of the day, every team, there's been a new champion for the last 8 years?
Mm-hmm.
It is. But the teams it's the same playoff teams, really. There's only been a few one-offs, and it's why were there different teams this year? The Hawks got better because their young players grew up. The Pacers were hurt. It's the only reason they were in the playoffs, so that freed up for someone else in the East to arrive. The Pistons, we knew they were going to be better. The Knicks literally figured out what didn't work for them last season in the playoffs, and that was they didn't have enough depth. They also didn't play the way that they played this series, which is letting Cat be a ball distributor. They learned, and that's where I think that, like, Mitch in his third season is going to be a different coach, and I think Wemby and those two guys behind him are going to be different players. And to that point, like I said, for all we know, they might trade for Giannis. Give him De'Aaron Fox. Give him a few picks.
The issue with Fox is he's going into that contract. He's going to be in the beginning of that new contract. Don't nobody want to deal with that.
Hey, if you're the Bucks, you have literally no one on that team. Yes, you need a star player.
You would think they would. Is Foxy really still a star? He ain't even explosive no more. Seriously.
He was dealing with those hamstring injuries.
I hear
he was literally playing through all that, and he was out for multiple games in the series before that, and then had to basically play half speed, it felt like, this whole series, because we saw like literally glimpses of Sacramento Fox, and he just didn't have that pep in his step, honestly.
Which goes back to hell. I could make the argument that K was playing with a broken rib too. That came out afterwards, but hey,
no,
it happens.
Like I said, I agree with you. But injuries are always going to be a part of it. I do think that the West dealt with way more injury. I just don't hold it as an excuse for Denver specifically. I think Denver was not a great team overall. They are great because they have Joker, but if you look at them, like, they're not the same team they've been over the last couple of years. I don't hold them to that esteem of even being a top 4 team right now, because I just want to see what they do from a depth perception. Because Aaron Gordon, I'm sorry, is just not it for them anymore. They need to bring in.
He got old.
Exactly. But that's the thing. They're all getting old now. Jamal Murray is 30. Joker's over 30. Aaron Gordon's over 30. Like, all these guys are
age with fine wine. Right. Just like Murray, he's shifty enough to age with fine wine still.
But my issue is that these teams that we've held so high for so long, they're getting older. They're going to need the depth to help average that off. Versus the Spurs are the opposite of that. The Thunder are the opposite of that. The Wolves are kind of the opposite of that. But Randall and Gobert slow them down a little, unfortunately, which is why I think that they should bring in Giannis. That is why I think Giannis would be a perfect pairing for them.
Giannis would be a good pairing there. I mean, here's the thing, though. If the Spurs, Their coach and Wemby got to get with Elijah Wan. Too many threes. Way too many threes.
I think he's going to work on both. I know, knowing his mindset, he's trying to still be that all around player. He wants to be able to take over the moment at any goal, but I do agree that he needs to focus on being in the paint, creating that post game more so, working with Elijah Wan again, working with Shaq, working with whoever. And then, if you want, still take your 100 threes at the end of the fucking after every post practice. You know,
Listen, he will work on both, but like they lost that series because he was out on the perimeter and bad coaching, and Fox like not being Fox. Whatever and if they keep Fox, y'all need to keep that in mind too. If they can't get rid of Fox, they're not winning. They're not unless there's a major coaching change.
I think that they can win it, but I think that Fox and Harper's role have to change.
Correct.
I think
If
Fox
that
has
doesn't,
to be okay with coming off the bench and potentially moving to a 6-man role, because their lineups would be too small with all three of them in, even though, because also Fox is the smallest of the guards. Between Vassell, Castle, and Harper, he's only 6'2", 6'3". The rest of them are all 6'5", 6'6". So, like, Harper showed me everything I need to see. That kid needs to be in the starting lineup with Castle and Wimby. And like I said, I think you say, Fox, we can either send you somewhere else, or, hey, like, what do you think about trying being our number one off the bench? And honestly, what the Spurs really need for depth is they need big man depth. Like, I get it. Cornette saved that game with that block. He had his moments. Someone who actually can stand in when Wimby's not there. And I'm not talking about an all-star or anyone along those lines. You just need someone almost like an Andre Drummond. He's a body that can protect the paint in the hole, and he can get you maybe 8 to 10 points in the paint. Like, that's literally what you need. They have Kelly Olynyk, they had Cornette, and they had who's the other? Oh, Zeller. They still
Kelly
have Zeller.
Olynyk, that sharpshooter.
And my point is, they only use Cornette. When you have this 7'5" giant, and he's not used to playing more than 30 minutes in the season, like, he played the most minutes he ever did in the postseason. And you get him breaks by bringing in someone, and all they had was Luke Cornette.
Listen, I'm not arguing that, but that goes back to coaching. And yeah, I think if this were to happen again, buddy gonna be on his way out. You can't do that.
Also, the only reason I say the Knicks will not make it back to the finals, because your fans don't know how to win. 63 arrests.
Oh my God.
All right.
5
Any other final
stabbings.
takes about the NBA?
Stabbings is crazy.
And a shooting, all within that night. So, yeah, Knicks fans, chill out, dude. Chill out. It's been 53 years. Doesn't mean you have to burn down that city. There's foreigners there. You're giving us a bad name. They're there for FIFA, all right? Jesus. Oh, Wimby should have been suspended for a game. He had 4 flagrants. He definitely had 4 flagrants. We'll see what happens next year, but he definitely got a little bit of that Michael Jordan rule.
Man, and that's the other thing too. Them boys is, I don't know, they young, but they got to keep that in check. And two, I want to speak to his point about the Knicks not getting back. Like, he's right in that regard too. The same thing that I said about the Spurs is damn near the same thing about the Knicks, because I mean they didn't have to go against the Pistons, who were whooping them coming and going with the same thing, and it was really one player. Like, K was just giving them the business for no reason. He was taking their lunch money and taking names. So I mean, and then a healthy Jason Tatum all year is gonna make it look different.
We will
Plus
transition
Halliburton.
over to NBA
Ain't nobody worried about the
news.
Cavs unless the Kane come back, and he ain't coming back. So yeah, I mean,
All right, and I'm gonna pass the
If they
mic
get back,
to Cassius. He
it's
has
not going to
our
be we
latest
only
and
lost 3 games all
updates on NBA
postseason.
news.
It's not going to be that. I can tell you that.
Agreed. Well, speaking of the Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, they clearly love this man more, seeing how they guaranteed him a extension before All-Star weekend. Crazy story that's coming out about that.
You got 2 Robins on the team, Cavs. You got 2 Robins.
Cavaliers, James Harden has been charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. So yeah, that's fun. You know, we'll see what happens. Of course, he was arrested. But you know what? Shooter's gonna shoot, right?
Is James Harden really like that? I didn't think James Harden was about that life like
tries
that.
to be, dude.
I thought James Harden belongs in the club, in the VIP sections. He don't need
What
that.
do you think he has in the club with him, dude?
Shouldn't he have security? Now he acting like Ja. See, here we go.
Acting like all of them a little bit. Little Lou Will. He's gonna have his own Magic City special soon.
Hey, Lou Will, bro.
After that, we have the Bulls. Chicago has finally reached a deal with new head coach, former NBA player Thiago Splitta.
And they still not gonna make the playoffs.
They will not. They will not. I am interested to see what this team looks like, though, with their 4th pick, which I still believe will be Caleb Wilson. And speaking of the draft, we will be, of course, breaking that down next week, at least the first round of that. But potential top 3 prospect is what we're looking at. Darian Peterson visited the Wizards and says he will not meet with any other teams. That is high regard. As you can see, I'm wearing my Jordan Wizards jersey now for our team that has the number 1 pick. And I'm going to be honest, Wizards, this is a message. If you pick Darian Peterson, let me show you what my hat says. This is what you guys are going to be.
It really says losers.
You're going to be losers if you pick him.
Wait. I have a question. Is that a Michael Jordan, Wizards jersey?
That is a Michael Jordan Wizards jersey.
To pair with the losers hat is crazy.
It matches, and I knew this segment was coming up, so that's why I wore it. So, again, Wizards, if you decide to take Darian Peterson with that first pick, you will continue to be losers. Because the pairing of him and Trae Young, wow, you might as well just have 2 WNBA players. Just
Yikes.
going back and forth.
I don't think you could say stuff like that. I don't.
In terms of the drama
Whoa.
that would be caused with those 2 in the same locker room, fighting over who's the star point guard, who's the minute guy. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You cannot have those 2 guys on the same team. You have to take AJ DeBonsa. So
you can't say shit like that.
Definitely said it.
You can't. We support the W, people.
Of course we support the WNBA.
You can't say
but they have very, very, very documented, well-known locker room drama that spans to multiple locker rooms across.
Bring all your guns to work.
Multiple things. See? And that's what I'm saying. I don't think they'd bring guns to work because that's not who Trae Young or Darian Peterson is. But I could see them have a cat fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this guy, it just gets worse as he keeps
they
going.
might have a cat fight in there.
Listen, bro, I think,
Darian Peterson might sit out a game just because Trae Young has more points than him. Like, that's the kind of attitude I see from that kid.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Trae, the fall from grace for Trae Young, for real.
I mean, Anthony Davis, we'll see how he looks there. They're going to be the weirdest team next year. Just whatever. I don't know what. You could throw a dartboard and maybe that's what happens.
In the conference finals, I would die. I would die.
But actually, speaking of the Wizards, also, just to let you know, their first round pick, 2nd overall from the 2024 draft, Alex Sarr, had surgery on a fractured right foot, meaning he will probably be out leading into the beginning of the season.
I mean, he started turning it around. He was all right last year. He was ass his rookie year, though.
He was kind of still bad. He got pushed off of the starting lineup.
Well, I'm sorry, Alex. I tried to defend you.
And last, but not least, Giannis. Actually, there's both Giannis and LeBron news. Giannis first, though. There is rumors and a lot of circulation that a trade will be done before next week's NBA draft. So we will see what that looks like. Of course, the Heat have come up a lot of news. The Thunder, the Timberwolves. Maybe we'll have a surprise here. And then LeBron. In a recent report came out from the Warriors saying that the Warriors are potentially trying to team up Steph Curry, Draymond Green. You're not ready for this one, Jared. Trading Jimmy Butler for Kawhi and bringing in LeBron also.
Listen, bro. If that happens, old man basketball is back.
Okay.
All right?
We're going to have a talk about that because we're going to talk about how old man basketball has never really worked in the NBA.
Listen.
And how would I know that? Because the Lakers tried it with James Worthy and Gary Payton, and it failed. Miserably.
It did fail. It did fail.
Washington Wizards.
They weren't going
Wizards. Houston Rockets.
You got countless examples, which I can give you that. But Steph Curry, how many games he played this year? It was like 30-something, right? He had that runner's knee.
Yeah, he was out for a lot of the season.
Draymond, who is going to poke somebody in the eye and curb stomp somebody and, break somebody's leg. Kawhi Leonard. Now Kawhi's only like 34, so he still got some gas. Bro, did you forget how Kawhi was acting up?
He kills me sometimes, though. I can't tell what season he's going to have. He's either going to have a non-injury season or he's going to have a completely injury-ridden season.
See, you just cursed Kawhi. He was finally on the up and up. You just cursed Kawhi.
It's all right.
He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that. And then LeBron has beaten Father Time.
Well, before we conclude, make sure to follow, like, and subscribe to all of our channels. You know what the name is, Between the Coast. And as always, thank you for joining the best in the Midwest. And join us next time for another episode of Between the Coast.
Luka says, "Let's go, LeBron," and just hits the fadeaway game winner over him. That'd be beautiful history. See ya. Also, congratulations to the NHL Carolina Hurricanes on their recent championship. And go watch some FIFA.